Often overshadowed by Seiko's iconic and affordable dive watches, like the SKX, Turtle, and Samurai, the Alpinist is a name you simply can't avoid when talking about the brand's most beloved collections. While the Alpinist lineup has expanded in recent years, its heart still beats strongest with the Seiko Prospex SPB121, the modern-day successor to the legendary SARB017. This watch has long stood as one of the best value propositions under $1,000. But here in 2025, does that still hold true? Let's dive in and take a closer look at the SPB121. Now, despite it making frequent cameos on the channel, I've never actually given the SPB121 its own dedicated spotlight, until now. Which, honestly, might have been a miss on my part, because this model is a perfect representation of modern Seiko's direction while still nodding to its deep heritage. Let's rewind for a second. Back in 1913, Seiko introduced its first mechanical wristwatch, the Laurel, which subtly laid the groundwork for what would eventually evolve into field-style watches. But it wasn't until 1959 that the Alpinist name officially entered Seiko's lexicon, debuting as a rugged companion for Japanese mountain climbers. Throughout the 1960s, Seiko leaned harder into dive watches, starting with the 62 MAS, and followed by models like the 639 and, of course, the cult favorite SKX. This shift caused the Alpinist to fade into the background for several decades. That all changed in 2006 with the Japan-only SARB017, a watch that introduced many hallmarks of the Alpinist we know today. That quirky internal compass bezel, a dual crown setup, sapphire crystal, a 6R15 movement with hacking and hand-winding. It quickly built a fan base, including me. It was one of those early pieces that really pulled me deeper into Seiko collecting. But after a successful run, the SARB017 was discontinued around 2018, and in its place came the SPB121, released a few years later with subtle yet significant upgrades. Let's break down the case and how this watch wears. The SPB121 comes in at 39.5 millimeters across and 46 millimeters lug-to-lug, which gives it a compact, wearable feel on most wrists. Even though it features dual crowns and an internal bezel, the design cleverly minimizes visual bulk, wearing more like a 38 millimeter piece. It's 13 millimeters thick, not super slim, but it doesn't feel clunky either. It ships with a brown calf leather strap with a faux alligator grain. It's more comfortable than the strap that came with the SARB017, but let's be honest, it still won't wow you. The deployant clasp, though, is a nice upgrade. The finishing on the case includes vertical brushing on the lugs and polished curves along the sides. The crown at 3 o'clock is screw down and unsigned, while the 4 o'clock crown operates the internal compass bezel. And interestingly, it's not screwed down, but the watch still manages a surprising 200 meters of water resistance. There's a flat sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating underneath, and yes, a Cyclops magnifier over the date. Love it or hate it, it's one of the defining quirks of this design. Let's talk about that internal compass bezel. If you've ever wondered how it works, it's pretty simple. In the northern hemisphere, align the hour hand with the sun, and the midpoint between it and 12 o'clock points south. In the southern hemisphere, it's reversed. You don't need a special watch to do this, but the compass bezel helps visualize it, especially if you're lost in the wild. Dial-wise, the SPB121 is familiar but refined. Matte black with gold tone applied markers and stylized Arabic numerals at even hours. The cathedral hands are gold as well, filled with Seiko's Lumibright. Bright, long-lasting, and reliable, though not quite as bold as what you'd get on their dive watches. The dial dropped some of the SARB's text in favor of the Prospex X logo, a love-it-or-leave-it change, depending on how you feel about branding. Now flipping it over, we get a clear view of the 6R35 movement, a notable upgrade over the SARB's 6R15. It offers a solid 70-hour power reserve and ticks at 21,600 beats per hour. It hacks, hand winds, and is entirely produced in-house, right down to the escapement components. Accuracy? Seiko quotes plus 25 minus 15 seconds per day, but in practice, many examples, including this one, run much tighter. Ours clocked in at plus 5 to plus 8 seconds a day across 5 positions. Not bad at all. So what's the verdict? When you list out the features, dual crowns, gold accents, cathedral hands, compass bezel, cyclops lens, alligator-style strap, it sounds like a recipe for chaos. Yet somehow, it works. It's rugged, elegant, quirky, and capable. A rare combo in a world of cookie-cutter field watches. For under $1,000, often found closer to $700, the Seiko Alpinist SPB121 still offers exceptional value. It's not trying to blend in, and that's exactly why it stands out. All right, that's my take on the SPB121. It's a watch that might seem odd at first glance, but once it's on your wrist, and you understand its story, it becomes something truly special. But what do you think? Do you own the Alpinist, or are you thinking of picking one up? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from other enthusiasts. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss future reviews like this one. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.